Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Hello my dear students, welcome back to First Commerce Business Studies online classes. So in the previous class we just discussed about the joint stock company meaning and the features of joint stock company, correct, right? Let's move to discuss important merits and important demerits of joint stock company. These all questions are related to 4 marks question. Explain the 4 merits of joint stock company, or it may ask for 8 marks question as explain the important merit and demerit of joint stock company, like that. Okay, we need to explain important 4 important merit and 4 important demerit with the proper explanation. Okay, so joint stock, before that, joint stock company means it is an artificial, it can be described as an artificial person or having a separate legal entity and having perpetual succession and even a common seal. Overall, this is called as it is an association formed to carry out the business activities, and these organization exist or incorporated under law and having separate entity and distinct from its members, that is called as what a joint stock company means. These type of organization owned jointly by all the stakeholders or all the shareholders of the company, that is called as a joint stock company. And perpetual succession, common seal, risk bearing, limited liability, artificial person and separate legal entity, all these comes under important features of joint stock company. Let's move to discuss some important merits and demerits one by one. Under the merits, limited liability is the first one. Very simple. Limited I'll explain with only 1 or 2 sentences. See, limited liability. Here all the members of the joint stock company having limited liability because the personal assets cannot be used to repay the debts and all. So the shareholders are liable to the extent of their capital contribution. Only the assets of the companies are used, only the assets of the companies can be used to repay the debts or to repay the debts of the creditors and all. So personal property or personal assets of the owners cannot be used to repay such debts and all. That's why all the members of the joint stock company have limited liability. And the next one is transfer of interest, means transfer of ownership. Here transfer of ownership is possible. Say for example, in case of partnership form of organization, the ownership of a partner or ownership of a father cannot be transferred to his son. Only if the other partners are agreed to enter his son as a member or a partner of a firm, then only it is possible with a new agreement. But here it is not like that. In case of public company, shares can be easily bought and sold with any person. Okay, so shares can be transferred from one person to another person with a very simple way. Okay, that's why transfer of interest is possible in case of joint stock company, especially in case of public companies and all. In perpetual succession, here existence of a company cannot be affected by the death, retirement or insolvency of the member. So it cannot be affected by insanity of its member and has a separate, because it has a separate legal entity. So business is not depends on the decision or the decision about the continuity of the business with the members. So here, even if all partners die or if all partners get retired, it never affect to the activities of a business. It can be, because it can be liquidated only as the provisions of the Companies Act 2013, or else it can continue as long as possible. Because it have the feature of separate legal entity, strictly following that principle. Okay, that's why perpetual succession is possible. Say for example, in case of partnership form of organization or sole proprietorship form of organization, if the death of a partner or death of a owner just results in wind of dissolve of the firm, correct, right? But here any partner can exit or any partner can enter to a firm. It cannot affect to the continuity of the business organization. That is perpetual succession. And professional management. See, this form of organization is suitable for large scale of organization. Say for example, any entrepreneur wants to start their activities fairly in a large scale. For example, steel manufacturing industries or iron manufacturing industries and all those, or pharmaceuticals or any other large scale organization. Those organizations require usually large fund and huge technical staffs and all. So here professional management, say in case of cooperative societies or in case of sole proprietorship, they cannot recruit highly qualified people and all, because they are not have the ability to pay the good amount of salaries or good amount to the professionalist. So that's why strategic thinking also very limited in that form of organization. Plan is not proper. They cannot efficiently utilize the available resources because of insufficient plan or because of improper strategies and all. But in this case, joint stock company, they have the capacity. They afford to pay. They have the capacity to pay good amount of salaries. They can attract highly qualified or highly professionally standard. So they can frame good strategies. They can frame. They can easily attract the number of customers. They can promote their products or they can promote their companies through their proper strategies and all. So professional management is possible. So it can employ people who are experts in their areas of specialization. That's why joint stock company have the good merit or good advantages of they can recruit highly qualified technical staffs or highly qualified employees to run the business activities in a effective and efficient manner. And let's move to discuss demerits of joint stock company. Under that, the first one is complexity in formation. I told that the company's formation of this joint stock company is a complicated process, time consuming and expensive, because it has to fulfill various legal formalities. It should prepare memorandum of association, articles of association, and it must complete many legal formalities, rules, and it must follow many other rules and regulations and all. So complexity of formation, formation of joint stock company is not easy like the formation of partnership or the formation of sole proprietorship form of organization, because mainly this form of organization must be incorporated under Companies Act 2013 or any previous law. That's why the formation of Companies Act formation of this joint stock company is time consuming, expensive and complicated process. These companies or the Formation of companies must be incorporated, or each and every company incorporated under Companies Act 2013 or any previous law. Previous companies laws are the Companies Act 1886, Companies Act 1866, Companies Act 1886, Companies Act one is Companies Act 1866 and another one is Companies Act 1882 and one more Companies Act 1913 and Companies Act 1956. Latest amendment was Companies Act 2013. So 1866, 1882, 1913, 1956 and 2013. So it must incorporate under any company's law. So formation is time consuming, expensive and complicated process. Lack of secrecy, because once company get incorporated under any company's law, then it is public. Means the information of that companies can be available to the general public. It must disclose its financial reports to the general public. So secrecy cannot be maintained here. Means it must disclose all its profit and all the losses and all the details about assets and liabilities of company in a exact manner, in a reliable manner. That's why secrecy cannot be easily maintained in joint stock companies like a partnership form of organization. Numerous regulations means when I told that formation of organization is a complex process. That's why, because this particular form of organization must follow some of the rules and regulations and it must follow the provisions of Companies Act 2013 or any previous law. That's why numerous regulation is considered as one of the drawback of joint stock companies. Mainly these organization must follow some, it not only takes up time and money and even some it also curbs the freedom of the members of the joint stock company. That's why numerous regulation is considered as a drawback or limitation of this joint stock company, and delay in decision making because these joint stock companies have company has different stakeholders like shareholders, board of directors, managing committee, employees and all. So all are all the stakeholders are take the benefit or look at their benefit. Employees look at their benefit, stakeholders like shareholders look at their benefit, like they should yield good dividend, then only they are ready to invest some amount to that business organization. All are look at their benefit. So often it leads to the conflict of interest. So delay in decision making is also comes under the limitation, or it is considered as one of the important demerit of the joint stock companies. Let's move to the next topic, that is types of companies. A company can be either a private company or a public company. Private company means a company restricts the right of members to transfer the shares from one individual to another person. Means from one shareholder to another shareholder. That is the first one. And private companies means does not invite the general public to subscribe the shares or securities. Private companies never ever invite the general public to subscribe the shares or securities, and a private company has the minimum number of 2 members and maximum is 200 members. That type of minimum number of members is 2 and the maximum is 200. Private companies does not invite the general public to subscribe the shares or securities, and private companies restrict the shareholders or restrict the members to transfer their interest to another individual or to another person. Transfer of ownership from one person to another person, it is not possible in case of private company. Such companies is called as what? Private companies. And there is necessary to the private companies as they should use the word private limited after its name. Say for example XYZ, then it should mention the word, it should use the word XYZ private limited, like that. Okay, that is about private companies. And the public company, what is public company? Public companies are not private companies. Public company means which are not private companies. Such other companies all are called as what? Public company. Mainly these public companies does not restrict the members to transfer their shares from one person to another person. Means shareholders can easily bought and sold their securities. Any members can transfer their interest to another person, means another shareholders easily. So that is what the first feature. And the next one is public companies must have means minimum member 7 and maximum, there is no limit to maximum members, and it invite general public to subscribe shares or securities or debentures and all, or it invite general public to subscribe their securities. That is such if the company have such features, then it is called as public company. So private company and public company. Private company restrict the shareholders to transfer the shares or the ownership from one individual to another, and minimum number of members is 2 and maximum is 200, and it does not invite general public to subscribe shares. Public company means which is not a private company. It does not restrict the shareholders to members to transfer their ownership. It invites general public to subscribe shares or securities, and minimum of 7 and maximum, there is no limit to maximum members. So such company that is about the private and public companies. Now take down the assignment question for this class. Give the meaning of private company. Give the meaning of private company. Thank you for watching this video.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.